Cool. All right. So following the agenda here, checking in on the Postgres 11 rollout update. It looks like Jose is adding some updates as we speak. So any concerns or blockers on the rollout so far?
No. Hello, everyone. So we don't have any blockers, and we are on track at the moment. So, and the current state is that we are starting to work with SRE, doing tests in staging, so we're okay.
Awesome. Okay. And I linked to the Epic here, and all the related issues are in the Epic. So thank you for that update, Jose. So talking about what's been done this week, we started setting up a Citus cluster for experimentation. The Citus cluster that was set up has a coordinator with 3 working nodes. The next step for that is to import some real data set into that setup. We're looking at either GitLab HQ or the quality team actually has a tool to generate a larger set than that. So Pat is looking at his options there. He just got the environment set up on Friday, I believe. And then we have an ongoing meeting on Wednesday to actually talk about some of the implementation details. And what happened last Wednesday was one of the follow-up items was to create an issue to identify data to collect so we can better inform our Citus implementation. And so we talked about that. There's a recording there. You can follow the agenda items. I don't know if there's any questions, but we're still in the process of gathering information about our current production database environment to determine table sizes, number of rows, what our partitioning keys look like, what tables would be replicated versus sharded. So you can follow along on that document there to get more information. But does anybody have any questions on what's been done so far? Cool. All right. So what's happening next? Continuation of Citus DB cluster. As I said, we're just looking for a realistic test set to import. Continuing to collect data for our implementation strategy on Citus, and then test some assumptions on the coordinator bottlenecks. So last Wednesday, we talked a little more detail about the potential bottleneck for having a single coordinator and what some of the advantage are to having your own HA coordinator. It's going to be a homegrown solution. There's nothing out there off the shelf that we could use that we're aware of at the moment. And it's really in the idea phase right now, what we could do, how we could do it. And a lot of it's going to depend on the information that we collect about table replication and sharding. And then I did reach out to Citus this week, and I got an answer back this morning. So because of because Citus got bought by Microsoft, they're still doing some work on their end. They're working on a SKU for the Enterprise Edition, and they expect to have that out on April 1st, which is Wednesday. And they asked if we currently use any Microsoft services or have a rep that we've worked with in the past. The only Microsoft service I'm aware of that we use is Azure, and I'm not aware, I don't know, Christopher, maybe you know, do we have any reps we're working with at Microsoft?
Azure is the service that we're getting out of.
Right.
Yeah, to my knowledge, we don't use any additional ones, but infrastructure would be the best people to hit up on that.
Yep. Okay. So I'll ping someone in infrastructure. I'm assuming we don't have a rep. We probably just use the Azure service as we need it instead of working with the rep. And then I just noted a related topic. So part of what will help with the migration and sharding implementation is the efforts to reduce the total size and growth of our current production database. And it for agenda items. So Christopher's typing something. You want to verbalize?
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't unmuted and probably heard my typing away. The exploring of the sharding solution has a milestone of 1210 in it. Is the goal to cut a proposal by towards the end of April? Is that kind of the thought process, or kind of what do we think is the overall timeline at this point?
That is a good question. I don't know that I have a definitive answer for you. I mean, Citus is the only thing that we are investigating at the moment. We should have a better idea on whether that is a viable solution or not by the end of 1210.
Yeah, it feels like it's the classic. We're going to figure out a survival solution, but there's still the cost problem, and
Right.
it just feels like the overall goal should be is by the end of before the end of the month, ideally, we convinced ourselves it's a viable solution, and then also try to figure out what we need to do for next steps as far as the cost. I just
Yep.
want to try to move quickly on this because like if this doesn't pan out, then for whatever reason, either because of cost or otherwise, then it's obviously going to affect our decision making.
Yeah, so I'm right after this meeting, I will send a follow-up email with the rep that reached out to me and just send them my Calendly link, and we can get together and chat about if they even know what the ballpark cost would be. They indicated they're still even working on costing now that they're working with Microsoft. So I'm going to follow up. I'll have a more definitive answer by next, depending on how quickly they get back to me, hopefully by next meeting. So, but yes, I will put down a goal to make sure that we have cost and direction by the end of this month, end of this milestone, sorry.
Yeah, and I think it's just the biggest thing is like whatever you need to validate in the month, that we've kind of got worked out. It may not hurt to do a demo at some point as well. So I'm not asking for that obviously in the next week or anything like that, but just from the perspective of seeing how this works and to give people a better feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah.
One issue I would like to comment on here, because that affects directly the feasibility of Cytus as a possible solution for sharding or not, is there are some comments or some concerns I raised as comments on issue 207833 that I hope that they may start like some discussion with that one. Thank you. So at the bottom, there's some comments I left there. Some are more like general theoretical, some even from the absolutely opinionated. The other ones are just comments that are more related to the architecture. I would like, if possible, to get some quality time from anyone to give some comments on this. Maybe they're just concerns that they're not affecting to us, or we don't need to care about them. Some others may. So they may influence the solution or the way we architect the solution. And I think at some point it will be great to just give some time. Maybe everything, it's absolutely okay for us, in which case, happy to move forward in this direction, but I will give them a thought if there's some time there.
Yep. You're talking about these comments right here, right, Alvaro?
Yeah, and the one above, yeah.
Yeah, I will bring that up in our Wednesday meeting too. Maybe we can just talk about them, and Pat will have some more context based on his Cytus implementation. Yeah.
This, along with the demo, I think will give us a really good idea of understanding, how we're going. This is some of those comments are not necessarily concerns, but that these comments come from a DBA perspective. So, I'm trying to analyze how we would orchestrate and run and maintain a cluster with Cytus, and what will be the differences compared to what we're doing right now.
Right. Yeah, because part of that research will be the additional overhead needed on the infrastructure side on how to manage this, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. All right. Any other topics or questions for this working group?
Are we good for tomorrow? The first failover rehearsal.
Yes, Mac, the idea is to do next week, tomorrow, sorry. We got the Ahmad working with us, and he was a bit short in time for today, so we are postponing for tomorrow.
Okay. I'll be around as well, and I think it's Nelia who is going to be there, and there's also this restriction in Russia that it's a working holiday, different terms, different countries. So I think that's be the priority for her this week.
Okay.
We'll reduce the workload and other stuff. Thank you, Nelia and Tanya, for coordinating.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone.
All right, if there's nothing else, I'll give everybody some time back. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.